Welcome to the Women Leaders Association podcast, where we believe we go further, faster, and have more fun when we go together. Be sure to tune in each week to hear an empowering message from the world's top women executives, trailblazers, entrepreneurs, and all-around fierce female leaders. I'm your host, Julianne Kirkland, and I will be taking you on a deep dive of each message to equip you with the principles, strategies, and tools you need to start crushing your goals, increasing your impact, creating work-life harmony, and did I mention have more fun? Because when you love what you do it better. The Women Leaders Association is the world's largest women executives association with over 30,000 women in executive and leadership positions who are committed to the development and advancement of women in the corporate arena. If you would like to get involved in a Women Leaders Association chapter, would enjoy daily podcasts, or you desire to become a part of the Women's Mastermind group near you, simply go to womenleaderspodcast.com. Now let's tune in for this incredible message. Hey ladies, welcome to the Wealth and Women Masterclass, where together we are going to discover all aspects of wealth and redefine prosperity beyond just money. So let me start by asking you, what comes to mind when you hear the word wealth? I know for many, it's images of luxury, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, right? Mansions, sports cars, or a big number on your bank account. But here's the reality. Money is just one chapter in the story of true wealth. Here's a statistic that might surprise you. Women currently control about 32% of the world's wealth, valued at over $93 trillion. $93 trillion. Women control 32% of the world's wealth. That sounds impressive. But if wealth is only measured in dollars, are we missing that bigger picture? Today, I want to challenge you to narrow your definition and offer a more holistic perspective. Wealth is not just about money. It's about health, well-being, and legacy. And when we embrace this expanded view of wealth, we unlock opportunities for deeper fulfillment, greater impact, and a richer life, no matter where we are financially. So let's talk about wealth as health and what that actually looks like. What is the foundation of wealth? I believe it's your health, right? It's where we are. If we are not healthy, then even if we are gajillionaires, we're not able to fully enjoy all that can afford us, right? And we've heard the saying, health is wealth. But let's put it into perspective. According to the World Health Organization, non-communicable diseases, which is heart disease, cancer, diabetes, they account for 71% of deaths globally. And many of these are preventable through lifestyle changes. Yet, how often do we, especially as women, put our health on the back burner? Why? Why do we continue to do that? We know better, right? We hear the statistic, and yet it's often because we're busy taking care of everyone else. We pour into our families, our careers, our communities, and what's left for us? Not much. But here's the truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. And I know it sounds cliche. And we can see that visual. Yet we still continue to try and pour from an empty cup every single day. Your health is your first and most important asset. Without it, financial success, it loses all its meaning. So let's talk about how do we actually invest in our health, just like we want to invest, right, in order to expand our wealth portfolio, our financial portfolio, and it requires investment. Well, so does our health. And we can do that by prioritizing physical well-being, regular exercise, balanced nutrition, rest, These are not just sparse, indulgences for every now and again. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed at work. Let me have a bubble bath. That is not prioritizing our physical well-being. These are not indulgences. These are necessities. We have to be able to protect our mental health. Stress is often called the silent killer. Practices like mindfulness, therapy, and simply setting boundaries can be transformative in your stress resilience, building that muscle, because my friends, it is a muscle. One of the easiest applications of stress resilience that I've ever applied to my life is simply this. Are you ready? You can't control the triggers that stress you out because we can't control what happens around us. We can't control our conditions and circumstances. What we can do, what we can control, is our response to them. Stress happens in an instant. We're triggered by something, that cortisol rises. It's a chemical reaction within our body, and our amygdala goes off and says, uh-oh, this is a stressful situation. That moment before we react is being aware, ooh, and taking that deep breath. Close your eyes, breathe in deep, hold it for 5 to 7 seconds, and then let it out. That tells your amygdala, wait a second, we're not in fight or flight. We're okay. We're safe. Let's turn that cortisol chemical back down. That is such a simple practice to help grow your stress resilience and ultimately your health wealth, right? Let me tell you a little story. So I have a sweet friend of mine who is a high-powered executive. She's working over 70, was working over 70 hours a week, just climbing that corporate ladder, and she had it all. She had the income, the title, the house, the car, the bags. Oh, so many bags, and they're beautiful, stunning bags. But one day, she had a health scare. It was a wake-up call. She realized that without her health, all of those other things meant nothing because she wouldn't have been around to enjoy it. Everything that she had been working so hard for to achieve in her life, it felt purposeless in comparison to her health. So she stepped back. She got healthy, restructured her priorities, and focused on her entire well-being, what that actually looked like, what actually mattered to her. Is it great to have the CEO title if your marriage is falling apart? If you don't have a relationship with your children? Everything that you said you wanted, that you needed that CEO money to be able to do for you, but you were letting it all float away in hopes of getting that title, that clout, that money, that income. Those things aren't bad, as long as you are still able to be whole and focus on the things that matter most to you. And that's your well-being, all parts of it. So today, she describes herself as being truly wealthy for the first time, not because she earned more, but because she feels alive, and she is alive. And that perspective shift has increased her gratitude fourfold. And that to her, health to her, is true wealth. It's true wealth. She'd trade in the bags any day for a healthy diagnosis. All right, let's talk about wealth as well-being, right? We talked about well-being a bit in our health and what that means, but let's dive a little deeper. Let's expand it a little bit further, right? Deep and wide, right? True wealth is more than surviving. It's about thriving. We hear it all the time, right? Especially if you are in the online space at all, you hear a lot about that. I'll take you from surviving to thriving because it's so resonant. People really resonate with that because they feel like all I'm doing day after day is a strive. And for what? Right? And so by saying that key phrase of let's take you from surviving to thriving, people are like, yeah, it's what I want. It's what I've been working so hard for. Well, it's all about your well-being. So here's another striking statistic. Women report lower levels of happiness today than they did in 1970. Isn't that amazing, considering how far we've come? Despite having more rights, more opportunities, and more income than ever before, we still report lower levels of happiness. Why? Because wealth in the form of well-being goes beyond material success. It's about fulfillment and joy and connection. What if you ask yourself, what makes me feel rich in my soul? Is it laughter? Is it developing meaningful relationships? Is it the feeling of accomplishment from a project you're passionate about? Is it the quiet satisfaction of a meaningful conversation? Is it getting time in your day to paint or make music, go for a walk, be in nature? Think about it. What makes you feel rich in your soul? Emotional well-being is about self-awareness and gratitude, right? I just touched on that with my friend's health scare and how that wake-up call to her health and making that a priority in her life elevated her level of gratitude. She shows up so much differently now because she's grateful for it all. The struggle, the hustle, all of it, because she's alive. And she puts that first. She's very aware and she's very grateful. And that is the root of emotional well-being. And then there's social well-being, right? It comes from meaningful relationships. Studies show that strong social connections improve not just mental health, but longevity. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and you leave that conversation and you feel so restored? You just knew that was your person, right? You've been involved with people and you're like, oh, those are my people. They get it. They don't drain you, right? They're constantly adding value to your life just in how they show up. That is social well-being. And then there's spiritual well-being. It's living in alignment with your values and purpose. And today, spiritual well-being can be under attack depending on, where you come from, what you believe in. It's very easy for people to attack on your spiritual side of things, what you value, what you're passionate about, what you believe your purpose is. When you are living in alignment to fulfilling those things, you're going to come against resistance. It's natural. It's the world we live in. But when you are aligned and you are feeling fulfilled and you have filled your own cup in this way, then it's okay. Somebody can come after you, but you're not concerned about it because you're already full. You don't need their opinion to make your life better. You're already full. A mentor of mine once said, true wealth is waking up every morning excited about your day. That doesn't mean that every day is perfect or any day is perfect, right? But when you're grounded in well being, even challenges become opportunity for you to grow. So here's a quick exercise for you. Okay. Close your eyes for a moment and think of one thing that brings you joy, pure, unfiltered joy. Hold on to that feeling. That is your wealth. That feeling, that, my friend, that is your wealth. No dollar amount can take that away. And maybe you're in a position in your life where you have been seeking more money and you've been working really hard for more money, more income. And when I say hold on to that thought and close your eyes and think about what brings you pure joy, and you're thinking, winning the lottery. Okay? There's no shame, but why? Now I ask you to think about why. Why does more financial wealth bring you joy? It's not just the money, it's what the money is doing for you. Perhaps you're thinking, well, because then, I could pay off my debt. Great, less pressure. Or it will allow me to go on more vacations with my family. Great, connection, time with your family. It'll allow me to travel and see the world. Amazing. Yes, the money, it matters. It's a resource, it's a tool. The money itself is not what's bringing you joy. It's the experience that you're creating using it. So if when I asked you to close your eyes and think about something that brings you pure joy, and it was monetary, I ask you to close your eyes again and think on why. What does that money do for me? What is it that I truly seek? And then hold on to that. All right, let's talk about wealth as legacy. I love the topic of legacy because I don't believe that we're just here for now and then that's it, we're done. We have so much impact to leave on this world, to leave on the people that we love. I love how John Maxwell says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And whether you believe it or not, we have influence everywhere we go. Everyone we come into contact with, influence is being exchanged. Whether for positive or negative, there is influence being exchanged. Legacy is using that influence for impact, going beyond yourself, going beyond this life, preparing for the next. I've written a few books, and that's what I love about the written word, is it'll live beyond me. My thoughts, my ideas, my stories. It goes beyond me. My books are part of my legacy because long after I'm gone, my great, 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 great grandkids can pick it up. And it's like we're sitting together on the couch and she's getting to know me. That's legacy. I think legacy is perhaps one of the most misunderstood parts of wealth because it's not just financial inheritance. Again, it's about that impact that we have, that we are creating. Interesting statistic. Only 24% of millennial women feel confident in their financial knowledge. 24%. That is a huge opportunity and responsibility for us to change the narrative, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation. I love helping women resource their legacy. It is a beautiful way to grow. And here's a couple things that are great ways that you can build your legacy. It's through the knowledge and the values you share, just like I talked about with my books, right? Teaching your children or anyone in your circle about kindness, resilience, financial literacy, right? It's a gift. And it lasts far beyond any amount of money ever will. Money dries up, money gets used real quick, right? You can leave an inheritance financially. You can leave your kids $1 million, and that can get spent in a couple years quite easily. But you leave them the legacy of resilience, love, peace, joy, patience, kindness, understanding, self control, all of those things that far outlast any amount of money that you could ever leave to anybody, right? And the other way is through the contributions you make into the world. And it could be volunteering, mentoring, advocating for change. Your actions, your influence, they leave a mark on this world, and it goes so far beyond you. What you volunteer in doing today, allowing your children to see that, or your colleagues, or your friends, it shows them that even though in your busy day, you still made time to give back to others, that leaves a mark on people. If she can do it, why can't I? Don't underestimate the value that you carry that goes beyond money. Another quick story. A woman I know, she worked her whole life to build this successful business, but her proudest accomplishment wasn't the money that she made. It was when she started mentoring young women to start their own businesses, to help them realize that the gifts and the talents and the skills that they had could be used to start their own business. Her legacy lives with those that she empowered. It's not just in her bank account from the work that she did. She didn't get paid for the mentoring she did to those young women, but that is her favorite accomplishment that she loves to talk about. She doesn't love to talk about all the spreadsheets and the board meetings and all the other things that she did for her job, for her career. But being able to invest in the lives of young women to help them avoid the mistakes that she made, that was truly fulfilling to her. The beauty of legacy is that you don't have to wait until the end of your life to start shaping it. You get to live your legacy every single day. Right now, once again, close your eyes and think about what you want your legacy to be. What do you want your grandkids to say about you? What do you want people that you have mentored to say about you? What do you want your legacy to be? Think on that today. Okay. I'm not saying you have to stop thinking about it, but maybe just for now, as I wrap this up. Take everything that you've learned today and sit with it just for a little while. Maybe jot down some notes. Maybe ask some of those introspective questions. Allow your mind to wander. Allow your mind to dream. Begin to explore again who you want to be, how you want to show up in this world, and the impact that you want to leave. Write those notes down. Talk about them with a good friend. It will really help to solidify everything that you've heard today. It's one thing to hop on a masterclass or a webinar and listen, be like, oh yeah, that's great, and then go and do nothing with it. It's another if you take it and you digest it and then you give it back out. When we understand something simply enough to give it to somebody else, that's mastery. So if you want to master wealth, think on these things. Wealth is your health, your well-being, and your legacy. It's the energy to live fully, the joy of meaningful moments, and the impact that you leave behind. So I leave with you this challenge to redefine your wealth. Look beyond the numbers, start investing in your health, nurturing your well-being, and shaping your legacy today. You can start today. I love this quote by Maya Angelou. She said, "I've learned that making a living is not the same as making a life." Ladies, let's go out and make lives that truly are wealthy in every meaning of the word. Your wealth is available to you right here, right now.